So I got the upholstery done here. Swiped the seats out of my 40 because they matched. Got all that good stuff done. Been working on all the little busy work since I've been home. Just the stainless trim and all those little things. Went through all the electrical, got all that working. So now I'm ready to go driving, but somebody left the ignition turned on and killed the points. That somebody was, of course, my worst employee, which is myself. So let me get that fixed up and hopefully be on the road. There ain't no way you can have a bad day when you live here. So, back from vacation. Spent a week in the Caribbean on a cruise. Fantastic time. You know, drinking like a Kennedy and eating like a trash can. So now it's time to pay the toll on that. Been working on the car, got all the little busy stuff done, the stainless back on, everything buttoned up. Went through all the electrical and got all that working for the most part. Ready to take the maiden voyage, but somebody, mostly my worst employee, which is myself, left the ignition turned on and killed the points. So that's today's project. So hopefully I can work on that and get it going today. Almost there, baby steps. I've never actually adjusted points in a Flathead. It is not the easiest thing. This is actually interesting. Factory dual point. I don't think I've ever seen that before. The last Flathead I had was ABA with the distributor in the correct spot. This one being in the front of the motor is a huge pain in the ass. So I got the distributor back in, everything adjusted, put back together. Still no spark. Check my coil and it's actually wired backwards. And it gets real hot when you turn the power on. That was done by the previous person that worked this thing. Wasn't me, but we'll change it out and see what happens next. For something that has been on the road for God knows how long, it's a matter of chipping through all the little things and getting it back going. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Well, that didn't work. Minor setback. Guess I'll order I don't know, new points and all that other garbage. Everything cranks, got fuel, zero spark. So back to the drawing board. Got the distributor out again. Gonna install the Pertronix and hopefully we'll solve our problem. So I got my Pertronix kit off Amazon. It was like, I don't know, $100. Supposed to fit the 42 to 48 Flathead. So the Pertronix here. Nothing else in there. So the first thing to do is just disassemble. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the condenser because we're not going to need it any longer. Get rid of that. I'm going to pull this off, which was loose apparently. That is the contact point which goes from the wire, goes through the thing into the points. That actually might have been the problem. Anyways, we'll get rid of that. Over here on this side, this is actually the timing screw. It actually goes in and it touches to this plate and it can actually rotate the plate back and forth. So we're going to have to retain that for sure. Put that aside here. Then you'll see down here inside there is a retaining clip. Make sure you put your thumb over that because once it comes out it will leave the planet. Captured. And this, push it out the back, well, perhaps tap it, a little persuasion, and out it comes. We've also got this little retainer here, which we can take out. I'm not 100% sure what this is for, as it doesn't really do anything, as that I can see, but It'll be that nut. There's a spring inside, and this little button, which maybe it's just a stabilizer. I'm not real sure. I'll have to look in the book to see exactly what it's for. As you can tell, I did my homework. So if you look inside here, you'll see the mechanical advance. Obviously, you want to make sure all this stuff works and is in, you know, not all tore up. We'll grease everything really good before we put it back together. This is the weight wheel here. So we're going to go ahead and pull this plate off. Let's see if we can. I have to use some persuasion. Perhaps some more persuasion. All right, got that guy out, so we won't be using any of this anymore. I'm not sure where these washers went, but we'll make sure they go back. So according to the instructions, this does not need a magnetic pickup. It's going to use just this retainer that's already there. So in the kit, got some screws, instructions. I mean, heaven forbid anybody reads those. You have this plate which will replace the points pickup or the points mount, and then this little electronic guy that will bolt on to the plate here. The way this works is as this thing spins, it'll pick up on the wheel, it'll sense it spinning, and that's what will create the spark. So seems like black magic to me, but apparently it does its thing. All right, got the thing all cleaned up. Now time to reassemble. It just goes back the same way. Put a little oil on there so everything is nice and lubricated up. This guy drops back right in there. Well, theoretically anyway. Give a little cohesion. So I sanded the edge down and got it to fit nicer. I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble that. Got everything cleaned up. So I'm just going to put a little bit of motor oil on there. Get everything pre-lubed up. If I can get the damn little washer on there anyhow. That'll just slide on there like so. Loose freely. Gonna throw a little bit of oil on the shaft there. A little bit on the bronze bushing there. These have a bronze bushing in there that I think it picks up oil from the engine. I'm not 100% sure. There's no real way to oil this externally, but I figure better be safe than sorry. The little guy just gonna drop back in there where it came from. And it's just a matter of re-indexing it. So here's our timing mark. So I'm going to put it right back at 0 where it started from. If I can just find the other piece. Here's the locking key. That locks in, and that is the timing adjustment. It's just a matter of putting the pickup on there. Got the pickup here, and of course it came with the world's smallest screws, so try to see if I can't totally unscrew that thing up. And make sure to put my new glasses on so I can actually see it. Yeah, got that screwed on there. I'm not really sure how this whole thing works. It's like black magic. As the cam rotates, the little flats go past the sensor, and that's what creates the spark. I don't know, it's pretty crazy. So need to reroute the wires back through the old hole where the pickup was. Easier said than done. good God's sakes, come on. When you got fingers like a sausage, it's hard to do damn near anything delicate. Usually gotta bring my kid in here to do this stuff. So that just goes through there, and then it's just a matter of putting a little grommet on there, which came with it. Slide that guy through there. Poke that in. Easy as pie. Well, if pie had oily hot dogs they were trying to work with, then it would be easy. God dang. Almost there. Disco. Then this guy goes back in. Again, I have no idea what it's for, but I'm going to guess that we need it. So make sure that it lines back up the way it started. And it's just a matter of the spring and the tensioner nut and the disco. That's ready to go back in the car. So I got the screws that hold the distributor cleaned up. You'll notice there's holes drilled in them in two different directions. Does anybody have any idea what those are for? Perhaps leave a comment in the well, in the comment section anyway, you know, make it easy. So I got the fan pulled out of the way, and if you're not super familiar with flatheads, you've got a mount here that mounts to the power gen, or this is a power generator, and then you can actually adjust the belts that way. It's a pretty funky design, and they put the distributor way down the bottom. It's just delightful to work on. God dang motherfucking cocksucking two-ball bitch. So on the bottom here you have these little tang that slips into the cam, so you're gonna make sure that you get it going the right way, otherwise you'll be 180 off. So I got the fan back on, got the belt back on, got it all mounted up, and here you'll see in front of there is a adjustment bolt. It's like in a slot there. And I find the best way to tighten the tension is with a pair of channel locks. Get on there underneath the pump in this top bolt here. Give it a squeeze until the belt's tight, and then tighten the back bolt up while you're doing that. Easy peasy. I of course can't do it while I'm filming, so just imagine it. So the next is to run the wires here, you know, up to the coil. Reading the instructions here. Yes, believe it or not, I actually did that. We're using a coil without a resistor. And as you can see, it says on the coil, no resistor. It's like they made it easy for us. So we're using this diagram here, so it's just simple black to negative, red to positive, and then the wire off the ignition to go. Boom. Easy. So to cover the wire, I got this webbed covering that I got from Amazon. It's not really the best, but it actually works pretty good, and you know, it's easy to find. Then I'm using the old ring connectors here. Typically I would like to solder those, but since my daughter borrowed my soldering gun for an art project, it has since left the planet, so we'll be using the crimp method. I'm personally confident with these things working. They're pretty proven. I mean, I spent 30 years as an industrial mechanic. I'm only using about probably 1 million of these things without a problem. So I'm sure it will be fine if my big hot dog fingers could figure out how to get that to work. Oh man, I have to find a damn kid for this. Hold up, it's like threading a needle. Now to just wire this guy up, and oh, might have changed the coil out first, and then we'll wire it up. suspense is killing me. Nope. Probably turn the ignition on. Nothing. Not even trying. All right. Get a timing light. So I went and hooked up my timing light and spun the motor, and I am getting a spark. So it must be a fuel problem. Last time I drove this thing was, I don't know, probably 6 months ago. So it might have something stuck in the fuel filter. So I guess I'll dig that apart and see what's going on. And then I'll play with the timing a little bit. I don't really know how to time this thing, so I'll have to read the manual and figure that out. But looking at that fuel filter, it looks a little chunky, so maybe I'll take it apart and clean it and start there. Oh, there ain't no fuel in it. I guess that's going to be a major problem. Well, shit, no wonder the thing doesn't start. Well, how the hell do you get this thing apart? Chinese finger trap. Oh yeah, not a drop of dust in there. It's been my personal experience that air doesn't burn very well. So I guess we'll get some gas. I'm pretty sure I was not getting spark prior to doing all this. I did check with my timing light, but kind of beginning to wonder if I actually just misdiagnosed, and the whole time it was just no fuel. Mysteries of the unknown. That'll be tomorrow's project. I'm going to go make a cocktail. It's a new day. I got some gas. Putting out some positive vibes into the universe. It's going to be magical. Of course, stole the gas from Laura's lawnmower, so she can't mow the lawn later. I'm okay with that. Little splash of fuel in the carb. Let's fire this bitch up. Let's get this bitch going. Ignition switch on. Probably need more fuel. Hold on. When I was 7 years old, I was riding around with my father in his '70 Torino, and the car broke down and would not start. He got so angry that he grabbed the steering wheel, stuck his feet up against the dashboard, and pushed the dashboard in, destroying pretty much the gauge cluster and all that stuff. And then he got out, opened up the hood, and smashed the carburetor with a hammer. This, of course, sparked and started a fire, and it was pretty exciting for a 7-year-old. This is about how I feel right now. can't seem to prime the fuel pump. Hoping that thing didn't crapola. Well, let's check it out. So it appears that I was missing the rubber gasket that goes on top of the glass. So it wasn't a airtight seal, and that causes it to suck air in and never pull fuel. So we put that back together to give it a try. Fuel. Trying to not burn up the starter. So, I can't get the car to run right. Actually, the car runs fantastic. But the one way to get it to run right is I have to use a fuel can, an electric fuel pump, and then the car fires right up, runs perfectly, runs like a champ. But for some reason, currently, I cannot get fuel out of the tank. I can blow compressed air backwards through the fuel line. I replaced all the fuel lines, if you recall. And it blows clear through. I can pump up the gas tank with the air compressor, you know, and no fuel comes out. So there's a blockage in the tank of some sort, so I guess I got to pull the tank out. But as for right now, this thing runs like a champ. So I don't know. The struggle continues. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time. Thanks.